o'clock. This meeting of the Gilliam County Court is called to order. A quorum has been established as three commissioners are present, and we will now have the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome. Okay, are there any additions or revisions to the agenda? All right. Correspondence. Do we have any correspondence? I don't have any in our packet. We do have public comment. We have some people who have signed up for public comment. Individuals wishing to address the county court may do so at this time and at other times throughout the meeting. Speakers are asked to raise their hand and be recognized by the chair, give name and city, and limit comments to 3 minutes. Okay, the first one I have, if they choose to speak, is Penny Krebs.
Okay, I really just
Oh, come on up to the table.
Okay.
And then if you would just say your name and your city.
Okay,
your
Penny
state.
Krebs, 73654 Highway 74. Ione, Oregon's my address, but I'm from Gilliam County. I just wanted to ask some questions on the daycare because I haven't paid close enough attention. And then I read Steve's article, had a lot of questions about it that I didn't really understand. So I was hoping somebody was gonna be here today just for me to ask questions. That doesn't happen, it's fine, but I just have written some stuff.
Did you want to make any comment? This is a chance for you to comment. If
Okay.
you choose to comment.
Well, I'm just really concerned about the money, accountability of the money that we contribute. I didn't understand. I don't know where everything, all the other money is coming from, like the state money, how much transparency can they actually give you on where the money's coming from? You know, we still pay property taxes. The SIP money from Shepherd's Flat, it's gonna be over in 2027. That's correct, right? And about $4 million, I think, is to what I have on at home. And I'm just hoping our property taxes don't go up if we lose that money to do the daycare. And we have worried about the transportation. I've been reading about the Oregon State and some cuts that they're gonna have. Anyway, the property taxes, need to encourage business, all that stuff. We don't want to forget that the money does come from taxpayers. That's not extra money they have, that's money that's just taken. So we pay a significant amount of property taxes, and I'm hoping that our property taxes don't go up when that quits, and we need to really be careful with our money. Private businesses like ours, we figured out, we cut back, things like repairs, sometimes groceries, even the amount of healthcare we spend has to be considered, because we don't get a free ticket all the time. So I just want that to be considered, but I also have questions because I might be misinterpreting things and not know all the facts. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I believe that the tax assessor is the only one that can determine your taxes. And I don't think it can come from budget wise.
So we don't go in, you guys don't go in and say, okay, we're really short, we need to do a 2% raise on everybody.
No, that's determined by the tax assessor.
And that be Chet.
Yes.
And it's on
Yes.
value, so.
Okay, well.
And I think they were still waiting to see what's gonna happen. They weren't real sure where it was gonna land on the SIP agreement.
Okay. For Shepherd's Flat or for all of them, because I know a lot of these projects have come
Well,
to you as well.
what happens when it comes off of, they're valued by the Department of Revenue, and we have no idea how they're gonna be valued. The good thing about Shepherd's Flat is it has been repowered, so it should retain its value. But we're not gonna know until the Department of Revenue values, and it's not gonna be, it will be close to the time that it's taxed, so. Yeah, so
You say
the,
2027,
Mhm.
that we will know somewhere.
Yeah, what the tax, see, the SIP agreements, there's a certain percentage of tax forgiveness. And those agreements were negotiated to provide competitive capital investment grants and competitive operational support grants for taxing districts, nonprofits, and other entities. And So it's a 15-year agreement, and once the 15 years is complete, then those, that project will be fully taxed. And the entities that will get the taxes is Code 4, which is Gilliam County, Port of Arlington, the Health District, North Fire, and North Cemetery. So these funds have been distributed countywide in the past to different entities, and now that large project, which is over $3 million, that we get in SIP funds is going to drop off and roll into taxes. The Department of Revenue values the taxes, and we're just not gonna know until they value it, how that's gonna compare to the dollars that we've received in the past. So that's kind of in a nutshell how it works, but 15 years is a long time to get used to the funds, and I'm warning everyone, I'm letting everyone know that this particular project is so much bigger than any of the other SIP agreements that we have or will have coming up potentially, that there's gonna be a gap in time where we're gonna have some unknowns with funding. So,
Yeah, because it seemed like a big deal.
yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, so go ahead and say your name, and
Peggy
just,
Gray.
the only reason we want people to come to the table is because when we have people watch the video back, it's harder for people to hear when they're further away from the microphone.
That's fine.
So, yep,
Peggy Gray. I live at 73654 Highway 74. I own is my address, but I'm in this county. So I too had questions about the early childhood education program, but it's very interesting to know about the other funds because it's like, I hope lots of people in the county are aware of this change that's gonna happen because it sounds like it'll be significant.
mhm.
And that's where so much of the money comes from, that it's a big, I mean, I almost think it needs to be advertised so that people realize
I am gonna
that.
tell you that Brooklyn, our finance director, has written an ad, which will be coming, a story, excuse me, coming out in the newspaper
Good,
to let people know about this
Good.
change coming. Mhm.
okay. And I mostly, I read this article in the paper and I had questions, many questions about this article. It seems after I read it through once, I've read it a couple times, that it's mostly this article is talking about infants and toddlers per se, and the slots for them. But I had questions about how many kids they have now. Has it increased since last year? It
Mhm.
seems like we're giving a lot of subsidy to them, which almost makes me think they're employees of the county or partial or something because we're giving so much money. So that was kind of my
Hold on just a
concern.
minute. Are we still connected? Oh, or are we okay? Sorry.
Well,
See. Yep, okay,
I don't know.
go ahead.
Okay, did you heard what my
Yeah.
last sentence?
Mhm,
So that was part of my concern.
mhm.
I wanna know what grants they may have received or applied for. I'm more about the monies and the amount of childcare, if it's gonna be run like a business. And I've talked to many people and they said usually childcare has to be subsidized, a licensed childcare has to be subsidized for a certain amount,
Mhm.
right? It'll never be free, it'll never make money, etc. So I'm also questioning whether we should have a license or an unlicensed, if there would be more slots with an unlicensed than a licensed, that kind of thing
Mhm.
I'm concerned with, so.
Okay,
But I guess nobody's here to talk about that today?
well, we do have Arlington who's just giving an update on their childcare.
Okay,
But we didn't have it specifically on the agenda,
Oh.
to talk about childcare. Just Arlington childcare update.
oh,
You might
just
learn
the
something.
Arlington one, okay,
Yeah,
misread that.
right,
Sorry.
so,
But I would can learn from the other.
yeah, you'll hear
Yeah.
what Arlington has to say about what they have going on with their childcare.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Moore, I do have you on item 3.2. The county court has, designated a slot on our agenda for you, but I'm gonna start with 3.1, who is our planning director. I just wanted to let you know, you've written your name down here, but we'll take care of it, when you talk about, the Arlington Childcare under 3.2. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, Stephanie
Morning.
Case,
Mhm.
Planning Director. The address over at the City of Boardman is 200 City Center Circle, Boardman, Oregon, 97818. I'm just here to provide an update this morning. I know it's been a few months since you guys have seen me. A lot has been going on. So I think most importantly is we have been working to kind of streamline and make some efficiencies and processes as far as like some sort of administrative things. One of the most exciting parts that I'm getting to in the fall, hopefully we can go live with Citizen Serve, which is the online permitting platform. So I don't know if any of you have had a chance to look at the online application. There's one base application for all land use permits, and it's really long and it can be really difficult to kind of fumble through for applicants who aren't really familiar with land use or have a really simple project. It seems like a lot more information than really what is needed. So pretty exciting to get onto Citizen Serve and hopefully have a online platform. Once we have that, I'll plan a presentation and share what it's gonna look like with you guys, so.
So this is something that's being rolled out completely new, right?
Yes, and the building department is actually going to the Citizen Serve platform as well. So at the City of Boardman, we already use it. And the building department covers all of Morrow County. So for Morrow County, they're all on Citizen Serve. Gilliam County will be all on Citizen Serve for the building department. And then Boardman and Gilliam County Planning will be on Citizen Serve. So hopefully that kind of makes it to where folks, they just know what they're supposed to do, you know, whether they're working in Boardman, Morrow County, Gilliam County, because we share a lot of the same contractors, so.
So how long has Morrow County used that? Quite a while?
Before I started at Boardman, but not long before, so I'm gonna say
Okay.
maybe about a year and a half.
Oh, so it's,
Yeah,
you don't have, not like a couple weeks ago or
no,
bugs or to work out?
nope. And I'm not sure if the building department for Gilliam County has gone live with Citizen Serve yet. They, last I knew, were still on the state system, but they're really close if they haven't
Okay.
yet, so. I'm just a little bit further behind than they are because I have more complex application forms.
Right.
So, I think that's probably the most exciting update. I have been looking at the fee schedule, as you can see on here. When the county does their next fee schedule update, I'm hoping to bring a new planning fee schedule in front of you as well. And then I gave you some numbers for what we've done since the beginning of the year and, the last fall when I talked to you about the FEMA pick'em, that did roll out. And so as of January 2025, we had to start documenting those numbers to report in 2026. At this time, we have had nothing to report, so there's been no developments within floodplains, so.
Okay,
Yeah. Do you have any
Yeah.
questions for me?
and we chose the permit by permit
We did.
choice.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. All right.
How is the permitting process going with waste management?
Yep, go ahead and give an update on that.
So we have been working with Waste Management to get the process rolling. There's been a couple of hiccups. We're hoping that, just before the meeting, we were discussing, meeting with some of the representatives at Waste Management to go over some of the fine details, hoping to take it in front of Planning Commission in October.
Yeah,
So
good.
that would be my intent for that.
And virtually most everything is worked out verbally. There were things in the, can I?
Yes, please.
There were things in the conditional use that are not related to planning.
Yeah.
And so with our recommendation of our new planning director, those need to roll into the agreement because we have no authority to have those items in a planning document.
So a lot of
We're
what's
working on getting the two agreements, getting the provisions of each agreement in the right document.
That's what I would like to
Mhm.
see. I think that there's the host agreement and then there's the conditional use permit. And right now things are really entwined. And it really limits the ability for any sort of changes in the host agreement. If the county wanted to come in and say, hey, we need to update this or whatever, then it's a whole land use process, and really land use shouldn't be involved in that host agreement. So we're hoping that maybe we can really separate those two through this next update. And then that way it's a really clean path for what's allowed under the conditional use permit from a land use perspective. And then the host agreement really becomes the county's objective rather than something that lands in planning.
Right. And so we have the draft from Waste Management in hand right now.
Yeah.
With those things that they're suggesting come out of the conditional use and go into the host fee agreement. So that's where we're at with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, there have been a lot of repowers. I'm sure you may be aware of the Leaning Juniper 1 and 2A and B. So they have been going through some repower processes through the Oregon Department of Energy. So I'm tracking those, and I know they've been working with the county for the lay down yard.
Yep.
They have been coordinating with me for that as well. So
So that would be proposed on the east side of the industrial park.
Okay.
And so, that's both of the legal departments for Gilliam County and for Auburn Grid are working through the agreement. So that should be finalized very, very soon.
So are a lot of the components gonna come in on train then?
I don't know how they're gonna become, but I know that there will be.
they haven't
ingress
indicated
and egress.
how it will come in. There is the one area right near the rail yard, so it may be that way. I do know my most recent conversation with one of them this last week was it looks like they're going to be changing one of their O&M buildings a little bit before we move forward with the process. So I'll be looking for the next application for that. And that was for the Leaning Juniper 2B, I believe. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
we haven't quite finalized that piece on that lay down yard, but I anticipate they'll be reaching back out to me in the next few weeks. So
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
All
Looks
right,
like you're busy.
yes.
Yeah.
And then did you want to kind of go into utilizing some space here?
Oh, absolutely.
Here in this building that what we're already renting?
Yeah, so last month when we came down to Condon, Carla and I came down to Condon, we kind of looked through some records, trying to figure out what we need to do. Really, there's a lot in that room to kind of process and go through and figure out what needs to be retained for records purposes. And then some of it, there's duplicates, and then some of it is really stuff that we don't necessarily need to keep. So we thought it might be more beneficial to have some space here. So we asked for a filing cabinet to be moved here, and then we'll slowly start moving some of the stuff here. So that way we can start going through, it's kind of a two-part. One, records retention to get rid of some of the stuff that we don't need or we're not required by law to keep. And then I think the other piece of it will be moving to electronic, saving some of the things electronically where we can. So given the current agreement that we have, having the electronic records that have been available really for about the last 10 years has been really, really beneficial. But not all of it's available. So sometimes it's trying to figure out how to go and locate the records, and then, you know, having them electronic will be a lot easier to locate and time saving. So we will be working towards doing that. It's not gonna happen overnight, but we'll be working
Slowly
on that. So yeah.
working through it. And didn't you also say that a lot of the records we don't need to retain because they're in a different agency, maybe?
Right, so
Uh-huh.
what we did see when we were down there is a lot of the records, we took a box of some of the energy files, energy projects, and a lot of them are retained through the Oregon Department of Energy. So right now, the box that I have in my office, I'm working through and separating really what we need to keep and then what's already being retained through Oregon Department of Energy. There was a time really not very long ago where it was really nice to have some of those, you know, hard copies in hand where you could flip through the binder or look at whatever you needed to. But I think we've kind of outgrown that stage. So, you know, getting rid of those duplicates that we really don't need would save some space. So.
Cause the department energy has everything archived.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really not ours to retain, it's
Right.
theirs. So Yeah.
Okay, all right.
absolutely.
Any questions? Stephanie?
If you guys ever need to get a hold of me, you know, reach out, email, phone, whatever works. So.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Okay, Arlington Childcare. And this is Mark Moore.
Yes.
Okay.
Mark Moore.
Morning.
Good morning.
Would you like to also give a little background about, so you work for the school as well, right?
Yes, I
Okay.
am, I was hired as a shop CTE educator this year, or sorry, 24-25 school year. And this will be my second school year. with-
So you're the new Alan Cunningham?
That's right.
Okay, all right.
And that's exactly how we say it at school. Yep. I'm Alan. Yeah, so I got to know some folks in town. I was invited to be a part of the board of directors. And in my first meeting, I
For the
was made-
childcare.
Sorry, at the
Yeah, yeah.
daycare, yes, thank you.
Mhm.
For the daycare, and I was made the president at my first meeting, so.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't know what I was getting into, but that's okay. I've
Okay.
been on some different boards in the past, so
Great.
looking forward to helping the community best I can.
Mhm.
I was not prepared to come and speak to you guys today. Ashley was, however, last night she sent me a message asking that I stand in her place because she's feeling ill.
Oh, okay.
So, for that, if
Okay.
anybody has any questions, you can feel free to raise those. The childcare center is doing, well, I would say. Our enrollment is up, to capacity at this
Oh, it
point.
is?
Yeah,
Wow.
which is excellent. Now, we don't always have full capacity students on hand at any given time, but our enrollment in general is at capacity, which is a great for us in our opinion. So the confidence is huge and we appreciate that. Things that have happened in the past, before the last time I spoke with you guys, we had already changed our licensing so that it was a licensed facility instead of a in-home daycare type of situation that gave us a little bit more room to work with the state and get funding in different things in different ways. Also, I think it just brought our level of expectation and the state's level of expectation up for our facility, and I think that's always a benefit. Ashley's been doing, I believe, a wonderful job keeping things together, and I'm disappointed I couldn't sit here and watch her give the speech because
Yeah,
I was waiting to see, what she had to say.
we can put you on future agendas too.
Sure.
I mean, just because, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah, and I was gonna try to get with you folks too, like once a quarter. That's what I'm gonna try to do with the early learning center in Condon also, just to kind of just improve communication and see where we're at.
Yeah.
Look at some of the things everybody's facing and.
yep, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, just to, so to see where the needs are and everything, so,
Absolutely.
but, excuse me, I had, make sure I had your phone number, Mark, it's 9, I think I have it, but I'll double check with you.
Yeah, 78936.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so are your hours, what are your hours of operation?
Currently, we're operating 5 to 5, 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. I believe that's correct. Monday through Friday.
And just to recap, that, this is a different community than Condon, you have different needs.
Yes.
In Arlington, the
Yeah,
preschool's in the school,
it is.
and that seems to, do you know if that's continuing or?
As far as I
Okay.
understand, but I haven't really been looking into
Okay,
that part.
but
I
yes.
believe that it's ongoing situation there.
It's never been I don't believe it's ever been in the child, but there was either a community preschool, then it moved to the school, so
Right,
you just focus on childcare.
right.
Okay.
And I can give you a minute to speak towards financials too. I just didn't get to that.
That's okay, no worries about that.
Okay, great.
And then do you know the age range you cover?
We take care of infants. I mean, I think one of our current children is in the matter of months old.
Okay,
And all the way up to, there's an upper limit, I believe it's. Well, it
If
could
you
be
don't.
older than I believe. I think it's just like right up to the teen level, I think.
oh, okay,
So, yeah,
okay, all right. All right.
but don't quote me. on
Yeah,
the
that's
exact-
okay. Yeah. Okay, just a couple of things with what you might have heard. Sometimes we get into conversations and then we don't actually get to tell the whole story about something.
Right.
So when I discussed the strategic investment program funding, Gilliam County has allocated another funding stream. There's for early learning potentially / childcare. I mean, I think we all kind of think that, is that correct? I don't want to speak for everyone, but that this should be available to our centers. It would be 20% of our economic development host fee money, which countywide would amount to about $1 million a year. So there's talk about how much of that to save, how much of that to assist the childcare centers if we need to. That conversation is ongoing, and we'll be discussing that this fall. But I just didn't want anyone to be in fear about this funding, because we want to continue to help both ends of the county. We know childcare centers need assistance. So we're working on that.
Yeah, and I understand some of the
Mhm.
tension about both sides of the county and as I'm learning. But I will say I've become friends with the board of directors up in Condon.
Uh-huh.
We've had a lot of good discourse. There's an open communication between both of us. And I feel like they're doing just as good of job, probably a better job than I'd say I am at this point. But I think they're doing a great work. So,
Mhm.
you know, we can learn from each other and
Right.
move together forward. So.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So does the city of Arlington, you might not know the funding part. I think they might help with some funding.
Yes, the city of Arlington does have a budgeted line item that they have awarded to us. And if you want to know the amount, I can tell you now, but yeah, they have given us I would call a generous amount of money.
Okay.
Mhm. And one of the council members of the city went out on her own and raised money for us recently. So that was pretty great as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. It was
Yeah,
really,
great.
really amazing.
Three or four companies donate?
At least three.
Three
Yeah, I believe there was
companies.
three, maybe four.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so.
Great.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah.
Good.
So, and yeah, we're working on streamlining all our processes, like, you know, having a really cute daycare oriented thank you card, you know, for those donations, of course, but you know, just trying to put ourselves into this community in a positive light best we can, you know, moving forward. And so.
So what is your full capacity? How many do you have now?
I couldn't answer that specifically, unfortunately. I think that we have.
In the six.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe our enrollment is somewhere in the high teens.
Okay.
I could be
that's
wrong.
good.
It might be a little bit more than that.
Good.
I think that our overall capacity by the state in our facility that we have at one time is 18.
Okay.
But we don't ever have that issue that I've ever heard of. So we do have more than that on roll, but you know, not everybody's there.
You don't know by chance if you have a waiting list too, or?
We're just beginning.
I just got
began
there,
to
but.
hear about a waiting list
Yeah.
starting up. Yeah, she says, well, if we get one more, we'd be on a waiting list at that point.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, so the way Ashley chooses to balance that out, I don't know specifically. I trust that she's
Mhm.
doing a good job. And if she had that concern, you know, we would definitely help her through that.
Okay. One thing I think we need to keep in mind in the future is your building needs to be replaced at some point. That's up
Yes,
to
ma'am.
you. We're not in the childcare business,
Yes,
but we want to make sure that I appreciate the fact that you have a diversified funding source that, you know, the city, it sounds like some private businesses that are helping. That is good, because if one entity isn't able to help, you have other ways to continue on. So I just want to make sure, it would be nice if we could form a partnership as well, if we need to assist with the building. If you have building needs, but we need to reserve some funds for that in the future.
Yeah, thank you for that comment.
Yeah.
It's definitely on our list of things to get done
Mhm.
in the future.
Yeah,
There was a bit of a push to try to get us in that direction, and the board didn't feel like it
yeah,
was the right
we're
time,
ready.
but we're all wanting that to happen. So,
Yeah. I just want to make sure that we keep it in mind. I think we need to have a list of projects that we need to reserve some funding for, since this month is dropping off, instead of just spending it away and not be able to help those who've waited. Originally, that building was donated, I think, by Waste Management 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think that historically, there has been partnerships with businesses, so that's good.
yes, ma'am, that's, and what a generous donation, I'd call that as
Mhm.
well, but I believe it is time to try to move forward with that.
Yeah,
Our board's looking forward to having this year to help kind of plan
yes,
that
Mhm.
into the future, so that we're not
Right.
jumping in with 2 feet to something we're not quite ready for yet,
Yes.
but I think we're very close.
Mhm.
It's a
Good.
thing. Yeah.
great. It's good news.
Well, yeah, like I say, my thoughts and, I think the court too is with the SIPs coming to an end, we're just trying to put a plan in place to be able to support or do whatever we need to do. And like I say, we have some challenges coming up too, but we're just trying to be proactive, I guess the better word I'm trying to use.
Yeah, yes,
Coming
sir.
down the road.
And if there's anything we can do to help that conversation, I'm more than happy to continue to be involved in that conversation.
That's exciting. You're full. It's good
Yeah,
news.
that's great.
Yeah, and I mean, we are very gracious to the county for all that you guys have done for us. I feel like it's worth saying to all of you now,
Good.
because
Great. Thank you.
it's why we are still doing what we're doing.
That's good.
I think that says a lot. So,
Yeah.
I'll get with you and Ashley.
Yeah.
Set up a meeting.
oh yeah, I know, I fully expect,
Great.
busy summer schedules,
Yep.
it just got
Yeah.
nice.
It looks like you might have a question back there.
Yes, I have a couple of questions for you, Chris. You said there was 4 early learning centers in the county?
Mm-mm. One in each end. One in Condon
That's what I
and one in-
thought, but I thought you said that, so, sorry. So that means 2.
Yeah.
There's only 2.
But there's a private provider that I'm aware of in Condon. I don't know about Arlington.
I
Okay,
didn't know about it.
Okay,
but
but
she
she
doesn't get any
licensed.
county funding.
She did get some county
did?
funding for small business development.
Mhm.
I think it was 25,000
Through the chamber.
through the Chamber of Commerce when she
So,
started her business.
Mark, I think is your name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm Katie.
Okay,
You said you had preschool that meets in the school,
that's correct.
and so how many other kids do you have besides the preschool kids? Do you know off the top of your head?
To break down our role, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head,
Okay.
unfortunately.
So so when you have preschool in the school,
Mhm.
is your staff helping with them?
No, that's completely separate organizations altogether.
Okay, all right.
Ours focuses specifically on childcare and involved in that childcare is a learning aspect, as a part of our facilities. Kind of base of what we do,
Uh-huh.
but the preschool is run by the school completely.
Okay. And what made you change? What was the impetus to make you change from a non-licensed to a license?
We were licensed before as an organization, but that was pulled by the previous director when they left the organization. Because an in-home license is done in such a way through the state that it is specific to the director themselves. So they in particular own and hold that license for themselves and the organization.
Okay,
Because we are run by a board and we are, as I'd say, the daycare is its own entity. The board of directors decided that it would probably be best for the daycare to own its own license instead of hoping that each director would hold and continue to hold a license on their behalf. So it's just more centralized so that our license is owned by the daycare itself and not by the director of it.
so in your opinion, right this minute, it wasn't a decision that was made because of amount of kids or how they were treated or what they learned, or it wasn't any of that?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
It was, we had to make a choice to either continue on that path, and I think it was better overall, and I wish I could remember and cite back all those reasons, but I really want to give you a solid answer. So you
Yes,
understand.
thank you.
But yeah, I think everybody agreed unanimously that the best choice moving forward would be to have a centrally
Absolutely,
located, license.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Okay.
so you said you were up to capacity, meaning you could only take so many. So I'm reading the paper, from what I know as a nurse, etc. You can only take so many infants, so many up to age 3, so many, and do you take after school kids then?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, that's a large portion of our.
that's a large.
Oh, the after-school kids are,
I believe so.
okay.
So they come from like 3 to 5 or something?
Yeah, and I can't cite the age groups, unfortunately, our upper limit, but yes, they do, they come up to that limit, yes.
Okay,
It says they close at 5, so.
yeah, they close at 5, yeah.
Great.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And if Ashley wants to be on a future agenda, have her reach out.
Well,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. Did either one of you have any other questions?
I just have a couple of comments. So by being a licensed daycare center, like you said, you don't, like, I know last May, they put the director on administrative leave. Well, that shut down the childcare right then and there until they, so that's it. Then
year
that,
ago.
it also opens up them to the state funding, like he said, that home-based childcare can't get, so.
Well, and then, correct me if I'm wrong, but if someone does that when they leave, they take, you know, all the information and everything with them, it sounds like, too. You have to start over, so it's good what they did, I think, right?
Yeah.
What you did, yeah.
Yeah, it gives them some continuity.
Stability.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds like it's going good.
Yeah, I
Yes.
believe so, and I think it's important to know, we're trying to take small steps
Yes.
as we move forward. So that we don't get boggled up in all of the things, you know, we're all volunteer. You know, trying to run it, except for Ashley, who's working hard, so,
Right.
yeah.
And when I say reserve funding, I just wanna make sure we don't, I just wanna earmark the money. So that, but there's no pressure on your part, and we just wanna make sure we have a little bit saved for that.
We're very gracious
Um,
for your due diligence.
My way of thinking is better to have more people assisting with that funding, but I just wanna make sure we are doing our part on both ends of the county in that way.
Yeah, I think we both agree on that.
Thank you. I didn't ever go back to those on Zoom on any public comment that they may have. No? Okay. We have in your packet under 3.3 fiscal year 25 special projects grant final report from Gilliam SWCD. That's just an information item. Yes, just a lot of information, yes. Okay, 4.0 consent agenda. We have the minutes from the August 6th meeting. We have consider personal service contract between NORCOR and the Northwest Forensic Institute. 4.3, consider appointment of planning commission members. 4.4, consider approval of Oregon Health Authority financing of public health services agreement. And then 4.5, consider appointment of fair board member. Do you have any questions about the consent agenda?
So I think, don't we need to pull the planning and the fair board members so we can make motions on those
We can do that.
separately?
We can do that.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to make motions on separate motions under separate item under 4.3 planning commission members and 4.5 fair board member. So the remaining items on the consent agenda are for consideration.
Okay, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Nope. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, let's go with appointment of planning commission members. 4.3. The summary of this agenda item is that currently there are 2 vacancies on the Gilliam County Planning Commission. The following have expressed interest in serving on the planning commission. Matthew Kammer is interested in filling position vacated by Lori Anderson. His term would end December 31st, 2028 if appointed. Donald Jameson is interested in filling the vacant position. His term would end December 31st, 2029. Are there any comments about these 2 members who are interested? I do want to make a statement about volunteer positions are getting harder and harder to find.
Yeah.
We had very little interest with a lot of outreach for a very important, 2 very important positions to Gilliam County. So,
This will be the first time that it's been full.
well, not the
For a
first
while.
time, but it's been
It's
time.
At least since before I was here.
Yeah.
Yes. Is there any further discussion or do you have a motion?
I'll move to approve the appointments of Matthew Kammer and Donald Jameson to fill the planning commission vacancies as presented.
I will second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the appointments to the planning commission. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, item 4.5 is Fair Board, and this is Chris Fitzsimmons. And her term. Let's see.
She's already expired.
Yeah, she's expired.
So
But
I,
her
I think they're 25, 26, 27. I think they're supposed to be 3-year terms.
okay, do we know if we have
So this commission until December 28th, that's what it said.
27, I
27
think it
is what
should
she
be.
thinks
So
that's what-
25, 26, 27.
the term starts January 1st, 25.
Yeah, so 25, 26, and the end of 27. It should expire.
The end of 27.
Yeah, I think they're 3-year terms.
Yeah, I think that's correct, and you were on the Fair Board, so we'll get your
Yeah.
And
judgment on that.
have any other questions?
Nope.
I'm good.
Okay,
I will move to approve the appointment of Chris Fitzsimmons to continue
oh.
Whoops, wait a
Fair
minute.
Board.
On the Gilliam
on
County.
the Gilliam County Fair Board until December 31st of 2027.
I'll second the motion, since we.
Yeah, I'm on the Fair Board.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded to appoint Chris Fitzsimmons to the Gilliam County Fair Board. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, leadership team update. This is under unfinished business 5.1. There's no action to take here. There was discussion at a strategic roundtable meeting that we held, and there was discussion about a leadership team. What we've decided to do is let the community leaders lead a leadership team. We support it, but Gilliam County isn't gonna run it. I think it's a advantage for us to show that we can allow the community to do things on their own. And Kaylin Lane has indicated she'd be interested in organizing a leadership team and have quarterly meetings. What I've heard is the concept, it would be representative from all taxing districts, Chamber of Commerce, both childcares, Pioneer CDC. That's in a nutshell what it would be. So outreach will come from Kaylin to those groups, and those meetings will be quarterly, and it will be a way for those in the north, those in the south. EMS will be there, fire, ambulance, to collaborate and coordinate and communicate. If there's things out of those meetings that come to the county court, we will act on that, but I think it's a good start for organizing some collaboration and communication in a positive way.
They're the ones out in the community too that hear things.
Right.
At times.
Yeah, so both schools, both,
So you're
north and south health, north and south fire,
to another volunteered you for another job.
Yeah,
Yeah, communication, coordination was great,
yeah,
and
Right.
we can do it.
great.
Will that be open to the public or just?
Well, it's not gonna be a body of a public body. It's not gonna be an appointed body of a public body, but you can always reach out to Kaylin if you have any interest in that. There was talk about, we got caught up in this at the last meeting, trying to coordinate this, and it's like, let the community do it the way they choose to do it. And if it becomes an advisory board of the court, then it falls under a lot of rules
Oh, yeah.
and regulations. So there was talk about having community members involved or not, but we're just gonna let this group decide how they wanna run it. If they wanna include other people, they can do that. So I'm sure she would talk to you about her concepts.
No, I'll probably. see
Okay, thank you. All right, new business, 6.1. Fiscal year 25 capital investment grant extension request, South Gilliam Rural Fire Protection District. There's a request to extend And the summary of the agenda briefing, recaps what they're requesting.
Just wonder if September 30th is still gonna give him enough time,
Yeah,
or we just go with, I mean, I'm okay with whatever
Let's
he
see.
wants, but.
Oh, sorry, I took that off mute just a
Okay.
touch too early. Someone came in my
Okay.
office.
ahead,
When I did talk with them, he said that September 30th should be good. He has the majority of his invoices. He just wanted, he has like waiting for one last invoice and just wanted to
Oh,
give himself
okay.
enough time to submit his final report, but they have the majority of the stuff purchased already. He just didn't want to get caught up in anything since he had already missed
Okay.
the July 31st deadline.
great. Okay, recommendations to approve.
I'll, do you have any question?
No.
Okay. I'll move to approve the FY 25 capital investment grant extension request for South Gilliam Rural Fire Protection District through September 30th of 2025.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the grant extension for fiscal year 25 for capital investments for South Gilliam Rural Fire Protection District through September 30th, 2025. Is there any discussion?
Any?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, announcements and next meeting. Go ahead, whoever wants to start.
Yeah, I have NORCOR tomorrow, and I just actually called the assessor's office. I don't know if you guys have heard. The tax appeal, Delta loss,
Okay,
and they don't think that, I think that they lost their appeal, so but Pacific Corp. don't know
And
where they're at.
Avangrid.
And Avangrid,
so the
But-
company lost, so if that follows suit
yes, hopefully all
Be
the other ones,
positive.
yes.
on the
So
tax side.
So hopefully, yeah, Pacific Core and Avangrid will lose their deal also and
We have to
put this
wait.
thing.
So then if they lose their appeal, then all the taxing districts that have been,
Withheld.
and the Gilliam County that have been withheld,
Right,
that Nathan's holding can
Mhm.
be returned to them.
Yes.
right,
Yes.
Which will be,
yes.
Yes.
Well,
Huge.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's good, and it's good to have it maybe resolved for future case law so that we don't end up in this situation in the future.
Yes,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's. I think that's all. I'm forgetting something, but I don't remember. Anyways,
yeah,
I'm done.
okay, thank you. All right, Commissioner Watkins.
I was trying to look, I had an email from Commissioner Rod Taylor in Coos County. He's trying to find out if people want to have meetings with Mr. Mark Cook that involve election integrity efforts nationwide. So I don't know if that's something anybody wants to do or has time to do, but I hadn't responded to him because I didn't feel like I should just respond to him, so. But I don't think we have a problem in Gilliam County myself, but
Right.
I think we're pretty well on.
And what was his
well, I
name?
don't think
Mark-
they're, I mean,
Mark, Mark.
yeah, his name was Mark Cook.
That's how it is everywhere.
Yeah.
But for sure in Arkham,
Right.
so does that, but sometimes that affects us.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I didn't respond to him because I was like,
Yeah. We haven't had any outreach from the Secretary of State's office letting us know we have any concerns on the election side. So I think if all
Well,
of
it's
us are
not-
comfortable not,
it's not like we have so huge amount of voters, and I know that Ellen in the past, when people have died, they came off the rolls and it's not like in other places where they have large amount
Right.
of voters and they don't know when
Yes.
somebody has died. And
Yeah,
they remain on the tax or on the voter rolls.
right,
So,
okay. All right, so Senator Todd Nash was here this week, here in this room. There's probably 10 or 12 people here. It was a good conversation. This was his first year. He's doing a good job, I believe, of representing us. Transportation was a big part of the subject. It appears that there will be a 6 cent per gallon proposal for the special session on transportation, which begins August 29th. And it'll be held over the Labor Day weekend, and it will, I think it'll just be a few days session to resolve that issue. And then, it's been a contentious, that's the biggest issue with the session. So we need to figure out what we're gonna do locally, and if this is gonna solve our local problem. State is really something different. However, state highways affect your county and your cities and every resident, because your county roads are clear and you can't to the state highway and you can't get out, or whatever happens, that does affect all of us. So how is that going to impact our local area? What we heard is if this didn't happen, there would be no de-icer and there would be day shift only, which is a big concern for winter on, especially in the Condon area. So we have, I think, a full crew, although what we heard at the town hall was that even though Arlington wasn't affected by any layoffs, there is a hiring freeze. So when anybody leaves, they can't hire anyone to replace them. So there is impact all around that we all need to be aware of. So do you have anything?
So I will have a comment about de-ice.
Mhm.
If they don't put it on the road before everything comes down, it doesn't work. That just makes everything slicker. And then it eats up everything on your cars, your wheels, and eats the wiring up on our trailers that we're driving. So would not be sad to see de-icer go. But,
Yeah.
but does it mean that they wouldn't sand?
Yeah,
roads?
I don't think so.
Well,
But
Dewey, he's like, our resources, we got 400 some miles, he said, for the state. Yeah, so this could be a challenge.
I think
Which I think that all they do is keep the roads open that have kids that need to get to school when it gets to that point. You'd have to ask Dewey exactly, but I think that's been the policy in the past, that they just they don't do all 400
So,
miles of road.
right,
They- Yeah,
So I think we have watched this space. That's all I can say. We don't know how this is gonna shake out, how it's gonna impact us, but I think we're really gonna need to communicate with the public no matter what happens. Because we have air life, we have school buses, we have commerce, we have fuel coming in and out. I did meet with ODOT earlier on, and they basically said you need to fill your pantries and fill your fuel tanks. And that was before we knew there was gonna be a special session, so I guess if we prepare for the worst case scenario and it's better than that, that's good. But we'll give an update when we know more. Congressman Cliff Vance is gonna be here next week. It's not gonna be a town hall. He just asked to meet with leadership, and that's an exciting opportunity. So anything anyone has for me to bring to the table, I'll convey.
What day is that?
It is next week, I believe it's
Monday.
Mhm.
I know, I reached out to him and tried to encourage him to come during the fair to
Yeah, I
get
talked to
some
him too.
exposure.
I talked to him about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But they asked about what projects were going on.
yeah.
I told them the 3 that were in the Condon area.
Yeah,
But
so I thought we'd maybe go on.
they need to visit the,
I'd love to take him on.
they
the
need to
drive.
visit the, up on the hill.
Okay, so, we received notification of water restriction in the city of Condon. So I just wanted to, sounds like there's a water restriction in the city of Condon. We also have a notice from the port that the parking lot here in this building Let me just read it. Both the upper and lower parking lots for the Gronquist building will be closed for maintenance on September 2nd, 3rd. That's just an informational, sharing. Yeah, so I think I will attend the childcare meeting. Or if you would like to, I think it's tomorrow night in Condon, since you're unable to because you have your NORCOR meeting, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, besides that, I might take my wife in, so
Okay,
anyway.
all right, next meeting will be September 3rd, Gilliam County Courthouse, and that's our regular meeting in Condon. Is there any other business for the good of the order?
I will say the Gilliam County Fair starts next Thursday. Everybody's checking in their exhibits on Wednesday, but the fair actually starts on Thursday and ends on Saturday.
Yes. All right. Okay, no further business. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.